At the May 11th meeting of the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is now called to order. If everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is charged with conducting hearings to determine whether an alleged violation of the city code has occurred. Decisions made by this quasi-judicial board will be based on the evidence and facts presented this evening. Our meetings are conducted in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order, and each case will begin with the city presenting its evidence of the alleged violation. The respondent will then present his or her case. Both parties will have an opportunity to cross-examine all witnesses. The board members may question any witness. Comments by both parties must be relevant to the case. Persons wishing to speak will be given an opportunity to do so by the chair and must address the board from the podium after giving their name and address. Upon request, copies of materials submitted by the staff are available for review. Board members are reminded to obtain permission to speak from the chair, and questions of the city should be directed to the attorney for the city. At this time, I'd like to ask all persons who expect to give testimony tonight to please stand and be sworn in by the city clerk.
If you plan to speak, please stand up and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony or evidence you're about to give or present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. As we have done in the past, tonight we will be taking cases out of order. The first case will be the first case under hearings, number 21-3530, and then we will be moving to unfinished business for case number 21-6827, and then 21-1856, then we'll go back to our regular scheduled agenda. At this time, I'd like to discuss ex parte communications. Ask the board members if they had any ex parte communications regarding any matters coming before the Code Enforcement Board this evening. If you've had verbal communications, please disclose the sum and substance of the communications, when and where the communications occurred, and with whom it occurred. If you've received written communications, please disclose the nature of the communications and provide it to the city clerk to be filed in the record. Rod?
I've had none.
No, none.
None.
I've had none.
I've had none. None.
None.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes. Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes from April 13, 2022?
Move to approve minutes.
Hang on, not there yet. If there are no changes and the meetings are acceptable, I will now entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. On to the first case, 21-3530.
Case number 21-3530, City versus Rima Nihad Ramuni and Mohammed N. Thabata for the property located at 8022 Terrace Ridge Drive. Cases before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 8102.13c. Roofs maintained in good repair. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Lori Smith. City has evidence that the notice violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance. This case originated proactively on July the 1st, 2021. My inspection revealed several blue tarps on the roof. At that time, I left a door hanger with a compliance date of the 17th of August, 2021. My inspection on the 25th of August 2021 revealed no change. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared with a compliance date of September 10th, 2021. No one was at home, so I posted the notice letter at the front door and requested copies be sent certified and first-class mail to the owner of record. I also requested a copy be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. I was contacted via email by the respondent's attorney on September the 2nd, 2021, who stated this was an insurance claim and he requested additional time to bring the property into compliance. I did not have any more communication from the attorney nor the homeowner. City Attorney Ernie Mueller contacted the respondent's law firm on March the 14th, 2022, and was advised that the case was still in litigation. At that time, Mr. Mueller advised the attorney that they or the respondent must be present for the May Municipal Code Enforcement Board meeting. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence of the violations taken by me on April 18th, 2022.
We'll accept those, thank you.
Yes, sir. Exhibit number 1 shows a notice letter posting at the front door. Exhibit number 2 shows the tarp on the roof on the east side. Exhibit number 3 shows the tarp on the roof on the west side. On May the 5th, 2022, Miss Natalie Eisenstein from Cohen Law Group sent me an email stating her office had been retained to represent the respondent and requested additional time to bring the property into compliance due to the homeowner's insurance claim. My inspection today noted the property remains out of compliance, and I am seeking a ruling. The respondent is here this evening, sir, and would like to address the board.
Thank you. Any questions for the code officer before we hear from the respondent? Go ahead.
Yes, sort of. So the respondent can probably answer better, but any idea why the length of time, this is last August, and why it took until now to come up with a lawyer and some sort of legal process with the insurance company?
Yes, sir, I think that would be a better question for the respondent.
Okay, thanks.
Is there any work done on the roof?
No, sir, not that I can see. They have replaced the tarps. The tarps got really ripped and very, very ragged. But they have been replaced with some new ones, wood put down. It doesn't appear that there is any rain that could get under the tarps as they're waiting for the insurance claim to be settled.
I did think of one other question.
Go ahead.
Was there any additional follow-up since last August as far as encouraging them to get this done, or how's the process coming with the insurance
Well, it
company?
looks, I think Ernie had a conversation with him in March.
Okay.
Yes, he did. As well, during some of this time too, of course, we're taken into, COVID hitting the building supply, being able to get the materials, so forth and so on. So maybe that, stalled a little bit of it. But again, this is an insurance claim, so maybe sometimes it doesn't just move as quickly as maybe we would hope or we'd like to see.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. May I have
The respondent would like to address the board. Now's the time. Be sure to state your name and address for the record, please.
Yeah, Rima Ramoni, 8022 Terrace Ridge Drive, Timber Terrace, 33637.
Floor is yours.
We want to ask you if you could give us more time to work. My husband still working on that, and you give if you can give us more extension.
Okay. So you've hired an attorney. The attorney is dealing with the insurance company. Has the attorney or the insurance company given you any idea of the proposed timeline to get this resolved?
No, my husband still working on that, and they told him he have to pay. The problem they need more too much money, and he can't pay all that money, and he's still waiting.
Okay. Any questions for the respondent?
So the legal team is asking for too much money? I didn't quite follow who's asking.
Yeah, no, they asking. My husband told me maybe they're asking for 27,000, and that's a lot. The insurance company.
Insurance is saying you had to pay $27,000.
Yeah, 27. It's too much.
Yeah.
And the problem, the water start to come down from the roof.
Inside?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. You had a question?
Yeah, you're asking for more time, you think in 1 month or 2 months?
If 2 months, I don't know.
It'll be resolved?
I hope.
Well, we don't typically give people 2 months. I mean, they can come back and, just like our friend in the audience.
Yes, he's been coming every month.
Yes,
That's why
yes,
it's
yeah.
similar, it seems to me
Yeah,
a similar situation.
Yeah, it's a similar situation,
Yeah.
yes, it is. Any other questions for the
I
respondent?
thought maybe they have a specific time, they have set
If they
timeline.
did, they can come back in 30 days and tell us. So, any other questions for the respondent? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
If there's- all right,
Chair?
Yes,
If I can chime in a little bit
Sure.
on this. So you got the sequence of events. When Code Officer Smith first got that email back in September, That was from the law firm, so they were represented back then. I don't know if you got the idea that they had recently. Then in March, Officer Smith kind of came, brought this to my attention and said, hey, they haven't moved forward. So that's when I actually made a phone call and told them too about the tarps that were ripped up. And I sent them photographs of that. Then they sent a second letter kind of reiterating their representation. And then that was like in April. And they were asking for an extension. And then that's when I emailed them, told them that someone had to appear.
Right.
In order to explain things to you.
Okay.
So in other words, this has been going on for a while. I haven't gotten any indication from them that it was gonna be resolved anytime soon, which I think is probably consistent with the experience we've had with insurance companies in
At
Rhode.
least at least they replaced the tarps, so,
Yes, I mean, it seems, yeah, I mean, I just think they're at,
okay. If there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion. Okay, thank you.
In case number 213530, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code existing on the property located at 8022 Terrace Ridge Drive, appropriate codes Section 8-102, subsection 13, subsection C. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, Lori Smith, along with the other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all which received and entered as part of this record of this hearing. I further move that the city, that said violation be corrected on or before June 8, 2022. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, any previous violation committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion is second, any further discussion?
Yes, I'd like to say that he first mentioned that he thought it should be 2 months. I think it should be at least 2 months because what Ernie just said, more or less, he more or less said that, I think, because why have her come back again when it probably would just be all over again?
Well, that's, I mean, part of the reason we have them come back is to keep them engaged.
Yeah, I think,
And it's consistent with what we've done on other cases. I mean, the poor gentleman in the back, you've been here, what, 6 times?
yes, it's-
11?
It seems a waste of time.
It's-
When someone is trying, some people, it's like a flimsy excuse. This right here seemed like a very, very solid reason, so why hassle?
Understood, but like I said, we still, our rulings need to be consistent.
They can come back and
They can come back.
extend another month and
Yeah.
another month.
My concern too is, I mean, with water coming into the house, like she said, it's starting to come in, we're getting into the rainy season. Like, she can light a fire under her attorney to try to get things moving. I mean, I've been in that business a while.
That could be an incentive too for the attorney and the other insurance company
Okay,
to
well,
move forward. She can
that's,
tell them that I have a month
Yes.
and I'm gonna be
Well, then that-
accruing this
that's a good,
fine.
that's a good point of view then. I like that one.
Okay. All right, if there's no further discussions, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. So ma'am, you've been found in violation. You have 30 days to cure the violation. If you're unable to cure the violation in 30 days, you will be noticed of when we have our next meeting. Someone, either you or your husband or the attorney, they need to come back to our next meeting and explain where you are situation-wise, what the progress has been, and officially request an extension, okay? If in fact you need one, okay? Thank you.
June 8th, we may want to let her know the date.
Yeah, the next meeting will be June 8th. Okay? And you're welcome to stay, but if you want to leave, that's fine too. Now, you can leave or stay, it's up to you. Okay.
She really wants it.
Need some more.
Yeah. So, all right, next case.
Next case, case number 216827, City versus Patricia Jones Lewis and Dewan Dane Lewis for the property located at 810 Ben Lamont Drive. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. The respondents are here.
If the respondent would like to approach, please. Have you been sworn in? Yes. Okay. State your name and address for the record, please.
Name is Dewan Lewis, 810 Ben Lamont Drive, Temple Terrace.
Are you both planning on speaking?
My husband can speak.
Okay, just so you know, if you can stay up here, but if you're both going to speak, I need you both to enter your name into the record, okay? So if you're going to be the spokesperson, go right ahead.
Since the last time I was here, with regards to the drawing in terms, regards to getting the permit, the document I provided was just a copy. Ms. Bennett contacted me the next day and said that I need an official drawing with a stamp and a seal. She contacted the engineering company, and she was told that she can't request that document. I contacted the company right after, and they told me I would have the document in 5 days. I called her right back. I said they told me I'd have the document in 5 days. It's been more than 5 days. I've called them several times.
Okay, why don't you refresh my memory? Is this the deck?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
all right, that's
Yes.
okay.
I have reached out to them several times. They said someone would get in touch with me. Every time I have to call back to get a response, and it's the same thing. We'll get out to you, we'll get back to you.
This is the engineer?
Yes.
Okay.
And up until yesterday, I was a little bit furious at them, and the lady that spoke to me says, okay, you can send an email to the company. The CEO of the company will see it, and hopefully someone will address it.
And this is your second engineering company, right?
Well, this is the only one I've dealt with.
Okay, so I thought you had talked to somebody else before.
No.
Okay.
I think
So,
You did some of the work, you did the work yourself, right? And then-
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
It's kind of after the fact.
All right, so right now you're still in a holding pattern, waiting for them?
I'm still in the holding pattern, waiting to get the documents so Ms. Bennett can issue the permit.
I assume you're here to request an extension.
Yes, please.
What's your pleasure? Any other questions?
Yes, this is, if I recall correctly, he did complete the whole work.
Yes, so it's just to get a permit.
You're looking to have plans signed and sealed and submitted for permit.
Well, I have a copy of the plan, but Ms. Bennett needs one that's sealed from the engineering company in order to issue the permit. So she said the copy isn't good enough. She wants to see one with a seal on it.
Okay.
And the company hasn't provided that to me as yet.
Are they local?
Somewhat they are.
Can you drive there and then sit on their doorstep?
Because now they have also electronic seal.
Well, I mean, for me, it doesn't matter how they give it to me.
Yeah, yeah.
I've stressed that to them. And they told me, okay, you'll have a tracking number for it when we mail it out. Haven't received anything.
Okay.
And I've called them several times. Ms. Bennett has reached out to them also, and they're not coming forward with any document. They're paid in full.
Oh, well, there you
So
go.
it's not like they're waiting for payment. They're paid in full.
Okay. All right, so you're here to ask for an extension?
Yes, please.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
In case number 21-6827, I move to give an extension until the next meeting, which is June 8th, 2022.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Okay, so you've been granted a 30-day continuance. So hopefully,
I will verify with them the next time I speak with them if there is some place that I can actually go and, like you said, sit on somebody's doorstep and wait for it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that will happen.
you
But we
show-
did.
Did you show them this for like the $25 per day?
I told them that. I said, look, what am I supposed to do if I'm being fined and nobody's.
well, you got your continuance, so good luck.
All right, thank you very much.
30 days.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next case, please.
Case number 21-1856, City versus Alma Aponte for the property located at 101 Deer Park Avenue. The extended deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight, and the respondent is here.
You know the drill.
My name is Adrian Aponte. Address is 101 Deer Park Avenue, Temple Terrace, Florida, 33617. I'm here to ask for another extension. I got an email saying pretty much the insurance company finally responded to the civil remedy. They need a detailed line item estimate for recovery loss sustained to the roof and property. On top of that, they also let me know that once that their lawyers will start working with them to negotiate a release of settlement. On top of that, they let me know that usually during mediations, only about 30% are successful. And they also let me know that, however, the insurance carriers often delay these initiatives in order to complicate the process as well. I would like to submit this into their file.
Okay, we'll accept that.
So I'd like an extension.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for bringing that. It's nice to have.
I've gotten it to the point where they're going to send me progress reports every month that I show up. So
Good. Have they started to work?
no, they have not started the work. Like
They
they're
haven't released settlement yet. So.
yeah, they have not released a settlement. They're negotiating now. They waited the full time, responded on the last day, said I need a detailed information
Yeah, I think
sheet.
you,
Has that been provided to them, the estimate?
Yes, it says it in there that the estimate was provided this week.
the line item estimate that was mentioned, you've already
Yes,
done that?
it was provided this week to the
Perfect.
insurance.
And I think you said you're not allowed to do, if you do any work, that kind of.
If I do any work, they cancel the claim and I'm liable for everything on the roof from that point on.
Interesting, okay.
Well, it's just if he touches it, then they can. The insurance
And
company.
this is,
can try.
okay, yeah,
Says-
understood.
Yeah,
They say I don't know what was fixed, what wasn't.
All right, guys, questions for the respondent? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I would like to ask Director Baroni what his feelings are for this case. Because I think last time you
I
said,
came here tonight to say to the board and Mr. Chairman that the city would not request an extension. I mean, this has been going on for almost a year now. And I think you're setting yourself up for a precedent here where are you going to allow this to go on for everyone that we present for a roof case? You're going to allow them up to another additional year, up to a year to get compliance. Now, if the board chooses to say we're not going to give an extension, we have a procedure in place that he can come in for a lien reduction in the future when the property comes into compliance. He will be fined whatever, say $25 per day, and say the last 30 days, he can request a lien reduction. And that would be presented to the city attorney. So there is something in place where he wouldn't be held to the full amount.
I appreciate that, but, I think it's safe to say that this is all out of his care and control. He seems to be doing everything in his care and control to get this thing done. I'm sure he doesn't like having tarps on his roof. If it were a case where he wasn't making progress or wasn't attempting to make progress, I would wholeheartedly agree with you. However, in this particular case, he has been doing what he needs to do or trying to do more, and it looks like it's finally moving forward. I'd hate to, I think maybe if we don't see continued progress next month, I mean, it's up to the board, it's not up to me, that, you may be running out of extensions, but I wod think that, based especially on this email that we got today, that things seem to be moving forward, that one more extension might be in order.
plus my concern is that the lien reduction doesn't come through us anymore. It's not like we're gonna.
We have no control
Yeah,
over
we're
that.
gonna say, oh, yeah, we remember that case. I mean, it goes through city.
Attorney's here, he'd take care of that.
True.
The other thing is too, the home insurance market in general is a nightmare in Florida. Even the governor has created a recent
Special
procedure where, special session of state legislature to try to fix that. So to penalize the average person because of that is a bit unfair to me.
You said earlier, sir, that only 30% of the homes get approved. I mean, what happens if you do not get approved? I mean, do you have the finances to pay for a new roof?
You know,
I mean, where are we gonna be at if he can't afford? I mean,
We'll be finding him.
I mean, that's a bridge to cross when we get there, in my mind.
I have a question for Tom.
Go ahead.
Tom, in the past, before COVID, do you recall these roof cases? How was the trend?
it was nothing like today. I mean, because of maybe COVID or supply and demand,
Material?
insurances, everybody's claiming insurance, roof claims and stuff. Everything has escalated. I've never seen anything like this in the 15 years I've been here in code enforcement.
Yeah,
last 2 years.
I don't wanna,
So, I've never witnessed this before like this.
I don't want to be too political, but there have been a lot, it seems like lately, these roofing companies are going around all over Temple Terrace, a couple of houses on my street where they're just trying to get
Well, they're now
insurance
texting
to pay
people,
for
too.
these
I saw an article today.
Trying to do what?
They're texting people, they're getting your cell phone number and texting you and say, hey, your
Get a
neighbor's.
free roof.
We can give you a free roof if you let us,
No.
so I don't want to get too.
Yes, sir.
That's great. It's been a while. What caused the damage to the roof? What is it your claim is?
It's honestly, I don't know what was put on there. I've lived in the house for 22 years now. The house is from the 60s. In the 22 years I've lived there, we've never had.
So in other words, it wasn't a storm?
No,
it
it's just
wasn't a
been
limb that
prolonged
fell,
damage
just
over time. and stuff
age
like
of the
that.
roof?
Yes.
I would guess that they're claiming Irma damage. That's what a lot of them are doing.
Yeah, it's not just the roof, you got structural damage on the trusses too, right? Yeah, I think that's the big thing, is
We had a tree, I remember we were dealing with this a couple years ago. We had a tree on the side that ended up dying because we have a real big termite problem on our block. And during one of the storms, one of the branches hit the corner of the house. So that might have been another reason why. But we ended up having to cut that tree down just because of how badly damaged it was and how dead it was.
Okay, so if there's no other okay.
I will, I would.
Question or comment?
Question?
I wish I understood the situation, but I really don't. This has been out of compliance for a long time because why is the insurance company involved?
Well, when we hired the roofing company originally to go to it, they came, they inspected it, they told us that that it was going to go through the insurance company. When they threw it through the insurance company.
But why? Why did they say that? Because after 22 years, it looks like it would be time for a new roof.
It was just the damage from the tree is what they were saying. We didn't have leaks start happening until that tree happened and hit the corner of our roof.
Oh.
And what they're suggesting is because now when you look on the roof, it bellies. So when it hit, they've suggested that the truss might have shifted, and that's what's damaging the shingles and the wood underneath. On top of the termite issues that we've had. I mean, I've had termite.
So long story short, they bought a roofing company, and the roofing company determined it was a viable insurance claim. He signed over his rights to the roofing company to act as his power of attorney, and it's been in their hands ever since.
And the roofing company even said it with the termite damage, I'm under compliance as well because we've had termites, pest control come out to our house every year.
That's why the
last
insurance
4
company's
years.
involved.
So.
Rod, you had a question?
Yeah, one last one. As soon as they approve it, they can move on and.
Yes, sir. So it states it in the letter as well. As soon as they release the settlement, all that the roofing company has to do to come to me is pick out a color. As soon as I pick out the color, everything else is ready to go.
You realize probably this is the last extension.
Yes, I realize that.
Okay. If there's no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll try.
Thank you.
In case number 21-18.
No. I'm sorry, you're right. No, it's 21-6-827.
No, it's 18.
No, I'm
21,
oh,
1856.
hang on.
Yeah, 1850.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Yep, sorry. I was off.
Case number 21-1856, City versus Alma Albonte, for the violation of the roof maintained in good repair. I move we extend the deadline till June 8th, 2022.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays? Good luck.
One more sitting on the door.
Okay, on to the next case, please. Should be 22-0068.
The next case is case number 22-0068, City versus Exchange Right, Net Leased, Portfolio 23 DST for the property located at 9202 North 56th Street. Case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12-1047, landscape maintenance. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case was originated by me on January 5th, 2022 for 3 violations at the site. My reinspection on January 15th showed no change, so a notice of violation was created on that date with a reinspection date of February 7th, 2022. I hand-delivered the notice to the store manager, Patrick Livesey, and a notice was also posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. property manager did contact me and they addressed 2 of the violations, leaving the current violation for the palm trees needing to be trimmed. After a 3-month extension with no work being done, I prepared a notice of hearing on April 6th, and the case was scheduled for the May Municipal Code Board meeting. This time, I'd like to submit photographic evidence of the site taken by myself on April 27th.
We'll accept those, thank you.
Exhibit number 1 shows the palm trees needing to be trimmed, and at this time, the site's in compliance, and I'd like to seek a finding and would like to submit an affidavit of compliance.
Very good, thank you. Any questions for the code officer? Respondent's not here, obviously.
What was the?
Hang on, go ahead.
The palm trees, need to be trimmed, like cleaned up, or?
It's he just said it's in compliance. So everything that needs to be done has been done.
Has been done,
Yes.
okay.
That's the definition of in compliance.
But on this photograph, they are out of compliance,
Correct.
and they just need to be trimmed. That's
They
correct.
have been trimmed, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I.
They have, but,
Yeah,
okay.
as of that point in time, they needed to be trimmed.
They need to
They
be
have,
trimmed.
since the photograph has been taken, since that time, they have been brought into compliance.
I think the question is like, what's out of compliance in them?
Yeah, that's,
Right,
yeah,
that's the question.
this is the first time I see a palm tree, that out of.
It's got a lot of dead limbs, that's what's,
I haven't seen the photo up close yet, so.
I wasn't.
any other questions for the code officer? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
Okay, in case number 22-0068, I move that the city has proven by greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the city, Temple Terrace City Code did exist on the property located at 9202 North 56th Street, according to a violation according to section 12-1047. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, Doug Allen, and along with any other evidence, including photos, the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed because of violation brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, no nays, motion carries. Next case, please.
It was Rod.
Next case is case number 22-1465, City versus HC 23-28-19-1 LLC for the property located at 653 Bullard Parkway. Case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 6.6 Animal Harboring Non-Domestic and 12192 Manufactured Homes, Mobile Homes. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Jose Silva. City has evidence of the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. Jose Silva, Code Compliance Officer. This case originated on March 18, 2022, after I received a text message from Director Baroni with photos of goats on the property. This time I reached out to the property owner and left a voice message on his phone. I did receive a return call after hours with a message on my office phone indicating I would be contacted the following week. On Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022, an email was received from Building Inspector Dallas Foss that a mobile home, manufactured home, was being placed on the lot zoned R10 single-family residential. Mobile home manufactured homes are only approved in RMFA, alternate multifamily residential, or EI, educational institutional zoning districts. This time I completed a notice of violation with a compliance, at this time I completed a notice violation with compliance dated April 12, 2022. I posted a notice at the front gate of the property, as well as City Hall. Also mailed copies, both certified and regular mail, to the registered address of the owner. My inspection on April 12th and April 27th noted the mobile home and goats still present on the property. I have 5 exhibits I'd like to submit. Exhibit number 1 is a notice posted at the gate. Exhibit number 2 is a photo received from Director Baroni on March 18, 2022. Exhibit 3 and 4 are the mobile home on the property, and Exhibit 5 are the goats on the property at April 27th.
We'll accept that, thank you.
Looking back, like, what are you looking at?
Mr. Chair, can I ask the inspector a quick question?
Absolutely.
Clarification? And I don't, if you said this, I'm sorry if I didn't hear it. Is the subject property either zoned RMFA, alternate multifamily residential, or EI Educational Institutional.
No, it's zoned R10.
Which he did say, by the way.
I just wanted to make sure it was
This time the property is in compliance. I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance.
Great, thank you.
Seeking a finding.
Very good, thank you. We'll accept that. Any other questions for this code officer? Yes, sir.
What happened to the goats?
They were removed.
Or the Jamaican stew.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. Anyone? Okay, thank you.
In case number 22-1465, I move the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace Code did exist on the property located at 653 Bullard Parkway, section 6-6. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, Jose Silva, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. Further move that there is no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
Before you go on, I don't believe you mentioned the other code section, 12-192.
You are correct. I did not. Should I start over?
No, you can just amend your motion to include.
Additionally, section 12-192, manufactured home, mobile homes.
Okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion second by Brian. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Next case, please.
Case will be case number 22-1869, City versus Mohammed Abkudir for the property located at 6727 Maple Place. Case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 8-102-13B, exterior walls maintained in good repair. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Director Tom Baroni. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Good evening, Tom Baroni, Code Compliance Officer. This case originated proactively on April 11, 2022, when I noted overgrown conditions and exterior wall staining. Based on the past history of the property with overgrown conditions, I returned later that day with a notice of violation with the compliance date of April 18, 2022. I posted the notice letter at the front door and requested copies be sent certified in first-class mail. I also requested a copy be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. My inspection on the 26th of April noted that the yard had been mowed, however, the stained walls remained out of compliance. A notice to appear was prepared that same day and posted at the front door on April 28, 2022. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence that was taken by me on April 28, 2022. Exhibit number 1 notes the posting of the notice letter at the front door. Exhibit number 2 shows the staining on the west exterior wall. And exhibit number 3 shows the staining on the front wall on the second story of the exterior wall.
Accept that,
I'd like to
thank you.
submit. My inspection on May 6, 2022 noted that the exterior walls have been painted. Therefore, I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance.
Very good, thank you. Accept that. Any questions for the code officer? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'll take this one.
Thank you.
In case number 22-1869, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code did exist on a property located at 6727 Maple Place. Code section 8-102, subsection 13, subsection B. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from Code Enforcement Director Tom Baroni, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that no fine be imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the day of this hearing.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. That concludes our new business. On to unfinished.
Case number 2827, City versus Robert Lawrence for the property located at 8610 Oleander Drive. The extended deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. Officer Smith will update the board.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members, Lori Smith, Code Compliance. I have an email, Mr. Chairman, that was sent Tuesday, May the 10th. It's pretty lengthy, sir. I can read it all, or I can.
Why don't you give us the Cliff Note version and then submit it into evidence?
Okay, sir. The gentleman is still out of the country. He is trying to find another contractor, as the first contractor kind of just bailed on him. So he's trying to find another one, and he is requesting an extension of another 30 days to try to find another.
Okay, refresh the board's memory. We've given this guy extension before?
Yes.
Yes, sir, we have.
It's not a contractor, it's an engineer.
I'm sorry, yes, engineer.
He's having a hard time finding, locating.
What's the nature of the violation?
It's for a deck.
He put a deck on the back of the.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Second story deck?
Modification?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. And he needs somebody to come in and certify what he did do is okay?
That's correct.
Or give him plans for a new deck?
Plans for a new deck.
Yeah, okay. And he's having trouble getting an engineer to,
Yes, he's out of the country as well.
so he's out of the country and can't, so he's trying to do this by phone or email or whatever. Do we know when Lori, do we know when he's coming back?
No, sir, I don't. I mean, I can read the latter part of the email. It says, currently, both my contractor and I are working hard to find an engineer who will draw the needed plans. I'm working very diligently at resolving this issue. It is just that in the current building economy, I will need more time to make the connections needed to get design and plans produced to resolve this. As I mentioned earlier, my efforts have been made more difficult because I am living now out of the country. However, I will again be returning to Temple Terrace for several weeks later this month for the specific purpose of resolving this matter, and should be able to make more progress in that time.
So he'll be back later in May, yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, but will he be here in June when he has to come back?
Sir,
He said several weeks, right? That's what the email says?
Yes, sir.
So one would assume several weeks gets you to, at least to the end of June.
Let's hope.
So, okay?
May I
So-
submit?
Absolutely,
sir?
yeah.
Thank you, Mr.
So any questions for the code officer?
I'm just trying to remember this case. This was already built.
Yes, sir. It was
Without
stop
any
work order
plans
put
or
out by the
permit.
building department. Ms. Cheryl Bennett was the stop work order.
Yes, I kind of.
It's a second story deck,
I know, but it was existing and just was remodeled or just an?
rebuilt. It wasn't just remodeled, he didn't just replace the deck, he tore it down and built a new structure.
Built a new structure, and he needed in plans and engineers and permits and all that.
Yeah, I think he didn't realize at first that he even needed a permit.
Yes.
That was the initial.
And we did give him extension before.
Gave him one extension so far.
One extension.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions? At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
We'll give him another, yeah, I'll do that. It's, this is the case number 21-2827. I move that we extend the deadline for the fine to June 8th, 2022.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion is second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, no nays? Motion carries, next case.
Next case is case number 21-6306, City versus Nihad Darwish for the property located at 6319 East 113th Avenue. Extended deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight.
Okay.
Case number 21-6307, City versus Alberto M. Barbon for the property located at 5415 Rainbow Drive. An affidavit of noncompliance was submitted by Officer Silva for Section 828A1 dated April 14th, 2022. Case number 21-6926, City versus Khalil Abu Ahmad for the property located at 11901 North 53rd Street. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. Case number 21-0203, City versus Ron Mogerman, TT Holdings LLC for the property located at 12909 North 56th Street. An affidavit of non-compliance was submitted by Officer Smith for section 12413, dated
Go ahead.
April 14th,
Yeah,
2022.
before you go to the next case, I think I heard you say case 210203, so you might want to just correct that for the record. It's 220203.
22203.
Yes, I thought I heard you say 21203.
Okay, I could have just,
Either way, I just want to make sure the record's corrected, that's all.
yes, thank you.
Okay.
And then, so that was a affidavit of noncompliance submitted by Officer Smith for section 12413, dated April 14th of this year. And then the next case is case number 210580,
Say it
city.
again.
Uh-oh.
You said 22.
Okay.
21, you said 21, it should be 22.
Apparently I was on a 21 kick. That is 220580, City versus Progress Tampa 1 LLC for the property located at 7815 Capwood Avenue. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Officer Allen for section 12861E6, dated April 14th, 2022. And then case number 221067, City versus Rachel and Nicholas Drew Teeling for the property located at 716 Druid Hills Road. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight.
Good.
And then I do have a few that are not on the agenda, but they were on the liens list, and over the last month, they had come into compliance, so I was just going to read those into the record. Case number 210070, City versus A&T Hospitality Tampa LLC for the property located at 13294 Telecom Drive. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Officer Smith for section 81661C, dated April 26, 2022. Case number 213728, City versus Craig Broomstein for the property located at 418 Burncliffe Avenue. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Officer Silva for section 828A1, dated May 6, 2022. Case number 215699, City versus Mark and Lori Harrison for the property located at 305 Bannockburn Avenue. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Officer Allen for section 12860, dated April 25th, 2022.
Very good. Is there any other board action? Any new business? I will accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much, gentlemen.